Ivy Slater, and you're listening to Her Success Story Podcast, a show where gutsy businesswomen share their success journey. Hi, this is Ivy Slater. Welcome to today's episode of Her Success Story. Today, I have a special guest, and she's a special guest because she's not only a business colleague, over the years, she's become a dear friend. And one of the days we were just talking, and we were talking business. I said, oh my goodness, we've never had you on Her Success Story, and your work is so impactful in business. We must do that. So listeners, you're in for a treat. Nazy Massoud is the creator of Wealth Accelerator Method. She advises her clients on how to level up to create their wealth and impact so they can enjoy a fun and fulfilling life. Her background is 20 years of work on Wall Street, working on the trading floors of financial giants such as Morgan Stanley, UBS, Chase, and JP Morgan. And she has been a trusted advisor to executives, managers, and entrepreneurs around the world. Nazy has an extensive knowledge of little-known insider secrets behind the success of the top 5 achievers. You want to know who I surround myself with, ladies and gentlemen. She's guided by her innate sense of intuition combined with her in-depth and diverse experience. Nazy is able to get to the heart of the matter quickly and fast-track her clients for results so they can live a life that they want to enjoy from the personal level, and have financial freedom. Isn't that what we all want, Nazy?
Well, thank you, Ivy, for having me here, and thank you for that amazing introduction. It's an honor to be here and share this space with you.
Oh, I know how busy you are, so I really appreciate you joining me. Share a little bit, I highlighted your background, but, I am always, when we sit down over a cup of coffee, I'm always asking at our point, how did you do all those years on Wall Street and on trading desks? And women were not the norm at this time. So share a little bit about your background for a moment.
Absolutely. I can go even one step back. Before that, because I started in the field of computer science and engineering. And at that point, there were not that many people I would say not that many women in those fields. In most of my classes, I was, if not the only one of the very few in there. And then when I came to New York, Wall Street was the place to be. So I got hired in the analytics group and, dealing with a lot of traders, being on the trading floor. And it was very interesting because when I was first hired, my boss was a little bit hesitant because she said, Nazy, you are shy and quiet. And he wasn't sure how I would handle the trading floor. But he said, I observed you when you were coming to the trading floor and talking to the traders, they had a certain respect for you and they were watching their languages around you. And, I worked in the strategy field, in the risk management field. And then what I recognize most of all is the human capital field and what it takes for us to get successful. So that's, in a nutshell, is my journey.
So why did you transition? I guess one of my first questions is, everybody finance is big money, big impact on our lives. You were living life. What caused you to transition into now the side of the work that helped others achieve that financial impact, that financial freedom that so many people want to be living with?
It's a very good question. And the honest truth about it is that when I was going through that journey, I was on the fast track. By my accent, you can imagine that I wasn't born in this country. And when you see me, I'm about 5'1". So I'm not, I might say, hey, I'm vertically challenged. But what happened was that I was in the fast track. Within 1 year, I went from AVP to VP. And people were asking.
Whoa, slow down already. Okay, because that is not normal. You went in 1 year from where to VP?
Assistant vice president to the vice president.
In 1 year?
In 1 year. And that was unheard of, and I was one of the youngest. So a lot of people were coming to me and asking me what I was doing and how I became successful in my own field. And, so I was teaching them. And then after a while, I figured out, okay, this sounds like a business. I can be more independent and I can help more people. So that's why I took the journey and started my own consulting firm.
And, in doing this work, it sounds like, okay, so, it sounds glorious. It sounds glamorous. In the point though, in looking at the other side of it, how do you navigate your business? So what type of clients have you worked with? Who comes to you and what do they see? What's really possible?
Well, the clients that come to me are basically, they are overwhelmed, they are tired, they are working hard, but they are not seeing the kind of results that they want to see. Let me give you some examples and maybe that can
because clarify. I think lovely. I think that's great because that will give really I love a picture tells a great story.
Absolutely. One of my clients was coming to me. She's an executive, high-level executive in the financial industry. And it seemed that they were not really hearing her or valuing her. And what was happening is that the year that she came to me, all of her colleagues were getting their bonuses cut. So we worked together, and after working together,
and I'm just going to chime in. If the rumor on the floor is everybody's getting their bonuses cut, everybody starts getting concerned.
Absolutely, everybody gets concerned, and it's about understanding how to position yourself, how to understand what your value is, and what you're adding to the company, and speaking from a language that you can communicate effectively to your senior managers, that they can see the value that you're adding. They're seeing the ROI that you're creating. And by doing that, not only her bonuses was not cut, but it got increased between 20 to 25%. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was a huge increase when you're considering that everybody else's was getting cut. And she was really happier. And, it just gave her a sense of self-worth, a sense of accomplishment that she didn't have before. And she felt like she's not being seen or heard or not valued. But after working together, it was like, okay, I can take a sigh of relief. And she became even more vocal in her ideas and took more chances. So it allowed her to expand her network beyond where she was.
I love that. And it is so helpful to truly understand because there's the concept of wealth and impact. And, we always want to say, kind of want to wave a magic wand and say, I'm ready to up level. I'm going to wake up in the morning and yes, I'm ready to up level. In the work you do with your clients, I have been, I've seen you in action. So I just want to kind of help explain, do you write this out? Do you inner work? How long do your clients show up in your world? I would think people want to continue to work with you forever.
Well, yes, I have had clients. My longest client has been with me over a decade because they see the progress, they see the differences. He went from 90,000 to 3 million within 3 years. So when
hold on, let's just capture that because you say it, you have such high level experience in the financial sectors that you say it like 3 million, like, 90,000, 3 million. Yeah, it's a percentage wise. When I like to play with my percentages, I can't do that kind of percentage in my head.
Yeah, well, it is basically the reason I'm sharing these things is because it's possible for people. It's just that when we have our self-doubt and issues come in, and it's not only in the financial industries, because I had a client who was an entrepreneur, and she basically had a conflict. She had an inner ceiling what her worth was, how much she could charge, and basically the mistake that she was making decisions on her clients and how much they were willing to pay or not pay. And after working together, she realized that she was really, really undercharging, and she quadrupled her fees. And she was able to get that money, and the clients were more than happy to do it. And she realized that she doesn't have to do much more work, and she gets quadrupled her income. So it was because one of her fears was that if I want to increase my yearly income, I have to give up my lifestyle. And that was a myth that we debunked, because by understanding who her ideal clients were, she increased the fees, and now she's happier and she's enjoying her work. And you know what it is? Her clients are getting much better results than before, because she's coming from a place of more fun. And because of more fun, more creativity comes into play.
I love the example of that, because I know for myself, complete disclosure, every so often I get caught up in that same problem of, well, if I want to grow this company financially, I have to work harder. And I hear myself saying to my clients, that's not true. You need to work more effectively. And I say it, and then I go to bed and I wake up in the morning. It's like, well, if I'm really going to grow Slate of Success, I need to work harder. I need to work harder. Or I have the family friends around me who show up with, oh, you're growing your company. Obviously, you're going to need to work harder. And because it's old programming, we continue to buy into it. And there's a matter of shifting to what I refer to as new age programming, as opposed to old Ivy programming, that says harder doesn't make more money. Effectively, smarter, with more impact, there's ways to shift that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and we are on the same page, because I say to my clients that they need to upgrade their programming. And one of them is their money programs. And the examples that I bring in is, I'm not saying it's bad or good, because if you think about your cell phones, you upgrade it every so often, it comes, and it's not necessarily because they had a bug or a virus, but because they want new features in it. So if we look at it just as an upgrade or leveling up our mindset, it makes it easier for us to create what we want to create. Again, they might have viruses and bugs to fix, but if we just think about it, hey, I want new feature, I want more wealth, I want more impact, I want more fun in my life, then you're upgrading your mindset into that level so you can get what you desire.
And, listeners realize what Nazy said early in this episode of her background is computer programming. So this is truly how she thinks. She's like, let's up level your programming. And when I've seen Nazy in action, she truly gets to the heart of your programming. It's a fascinating experience, and so much fun to be around you, to see the impact that you're making, and to you have a beautiful core belief of anything is possible and we're just going to get it done. And you show up with such ease, joy, and grace with that it is, the opposite of, work and push. So I have to ask you something else entirely.
Go ahead.
So Nazy, because she is playful and she is fun, you've been playing on Clubhouse.
I I love Clubhouse. I think it's one way to really, create an impact and get to know people. I got to know people from all around the world. Actually, I'm co-hosting with this lady who lives in England. And the only way we met was through Clubhouse. So yes, it's a fun thing to do.
And, one of the things I truly admire about you is you show up to grow your business in a place of fun and not in a place of hard or difficult or challenging. And I think that's one of the greatest gifts you bring to the people who connect with you, is your gift of fun in growth.
Absolutely. Because, the way I see it, if you're having fun, you're in this place of calm. And when you're in that, your creativity juices are coming up. But when you're in the place of hard work and I have to do this and this is the way, then your creativity gets pushed down. And you come from a place of have to, must to, follow the leader. But the important thing is you got to be the leader in your own life. You got to be the leader in your businesses. I'm not saying not to go for mentors or ask for help and that kind of stuff. But then you have to look at it whether they are aligned with you or not. And the more important question is, even when you're hearing the advices, how can I apply it so I'm aligned, so I can have fun with it, so I can move my business forward, not for a place of, oh, I gotta do this and becoming robotic about it. One size doesn't fit all, and we're individuals. And to me, it's about celebration of your uniqueness and owning that uniqueness. That makes the difference. If we look at all the successful people that we admire, everybody talks about Oprah or Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or all these other people, but why do we admire them? Because they are true to who they are. They own their uniqueness. They celebrated it instead of making excuses for it and try to fit in.
I love that. Nazy, share with our listeners, how could they know more about you? How could they follow you, be in touch with you?
Well, if people want to get more information about me, they can go to nazymassoud.com, or if they want to hear me, they can come to Clubhouse and we can have fun and they can ask questions. And for the people who are ready to have a conversation and take their businesses and lives to the next level, they can go to callwithnazy.com, and Nazy is nazy.com, and they can find me there.
And listeners, do not panic. Nazy Massoud, who many of you cannot spell because it took me ages to figure it out for the person who can't spell on his call. It's all in the show notes. Click below. For those of you, join Nazy on Clubhouse. I know I'll be jumping in because she's just fun to chat with if you've not been here today and listened to us, to just really enjoyed a great conversation. As well as those who are ready to actually take some action and accelerate, you probably want to jump on that call with Nazy. You guys know, who listeners who've been at Her Success Story for a long time, I don't push sales. I push information, knowledge, and experience. So go have yourself a great experience. Nazy, thank you for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for the privilege of being with you and your listeners.
And listeners, as I close every show, these are the actions we take. Showing up to listen is great. Showing up to make a difference is better. So take a moment, identify what are your takeaways from this call? What are your takeaways from this call? And number 2, put it in an action item of what are you going to do about it? If we're showing up to listen, whether you're driving, walking, taking the train, or whatever else, always make that note and know what you're doing about it so we have implementation. That's where success sits. Continue to join me on this summit series of great interviews. And as we move into the fall, we have some other new things coming your way. Thank you for joining me here today at Her Success Story.
I've got mine.